it is rather ironic that Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, and also the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, weren't able to go to these celebrations today when they are in fact the only two servicemen in recent years who've actually fought in conflict. I'm sure that the King would like to reconcile with his son Prince Harry, and I'm sure he'd prefer it if both of them could have been there. But sadly, that's not to be under the current circumstances. Well, we've had wall-to-wall coverage of Prince Harry over the last few days, and I think the royals would certainly feel that today really had to be about the veterans and really had to be about the servicemen and women, and not about Prince Harry. I mean, hopefully we'll get a period of silence from him over the next day or two as a mark of respect. Meghan couldn't help herself posting a picture of Harry and her children that she took in California a day or so ago. So they've played quite a few cards in the last few days, and they've got involved in this PR war after the High Court decision not to renew his security. But I'm hoping that this might sort of draw a line under that, and they might turn a corner and think, when you look at the events today, that it really does look out of place to be talking about them when we should be talking about the veterans. So hopefully we can move forward from here. But I have my doubts whether Harry in particular will learn his lesson. Yeah, it was wonderful to see the three kids again. It's always fascinating to watch them. Every sort of little gesture they make is seized upon. Louis, only 7 a couple of weeks ago, and Charlotte, only 10 last week, growing up fast. George, he looks pretty much the same, aged 11. He still looks quite serious, I think, sometimes. But Charlotte was talking away to her mum, and Louis, of course, was interacting with William, looking at his epaulets on his RAF uniform, and I think wiping away something and playing around and pulling a few faces and generally enjoying himself as usual. And I just did think to myself, I'd actually put it out on X. I looked at the three of them and I thought to myself, I wonder how many of those three kids will actually end up doing military service themselves. And then I said, perhaps all three of them. You never know. I have a hunch they might be. Certainly Louis looks like he could well be an action man. Long tradition, of course, of the royals going into the armed forces, and I suspect that at least one or two of them will. It's quite interesting, actually, that we saw Charlotte last week in the picture that her mum, Catherine, took of her. She was wearing sort of camouflage battle fatigues, so maybe that was dropping a hint that she's already getting interested in all things military. And as I say, I wouldn't be at all surprised if all three of them end up doing some kind of service. I thought it was fantastic to see the King and Queen Camilla interacting with the vets. They were both sat next to members of the British Legion, and they were able to have a chat with them. I think at one point Camilla even shared her blanket. It was quite cold sitting there, and I think she actually shared a blanket with somebody she was with. And it was a bit of a stark contrast, I think, to Mayor Sadiq Khan, who seemed to look bored with all the proceedings. At one point I saw him actually looking at his watch, which I didn't think was very tactful, but some people online saying that he wasn't paying a great deal of respect to the proceedings. Maybe that's unfair, maybe it's not, but he certainly wasn't giving off the vibes that he was interested, unlike all the royals, who were very, very engaged and making it all about the veterans. And it was quite significant that the King chose to wear a simple naval uniform like his grandfather, King George VI, did on VE Day. No medals, no great fanfare, just having a simple uniform, and that was really paying tribute to the people who'd made the ultimate sacrifice and the people who'd actually fought in the war.